break from the League of Legends action in between with some more League of Legends action. But speaking of Trouble, we got to get down to the brass tacks. We got to get down to this draft of Top Esports for BLG, because Top Esports on the blue side this time, obviously, are going to have the Varus, Skarner, and Aurora. BLG, the Sejuani, the Misfortune, and the Yone.
Okay, real quickly, I love what Top Esports have got here. Creme, on one of his most super comfort champions of the Aurora. He'd pick it anytime, even blind, he's picked it before. JackeyLove, Varus, enough said right there, and Kanavi on more of a facilitating pick onto that Skarner. However, looking over on the other side, the big wombo combo from BLG cannot be ignored. You do have Sejuani setting up into a bullet time Yone ult, and this could be very, very scary. However, the mobility so far on Top Esports, if they keep that theme minus the Varus, could very easily be that kind of team where your enemy cannot pin down for that bullet time to stick.
Yeah, I think that's really difficult, but the setup just looks so damn powerful from BLG. I mean, not only do you have the Yone Sejuani combo, but now you throw in the Nautilus there, and the CC chaining is so difficult. I do love that Top Esports went ahead and grabbed that Rel to try to offset that and give themselves some of that wombo combo. But I think this final pick for top lane has to be the linchpin, and it will be the Renekton for 369, something he's been willing to go for this split more heavily. You're dying. You're out of
Okay, I did die. I'm not a big fan of the Renekton in general, specifically because I'm thinking right here, the Varus is going to have to go on hit. There's no way you're planning to Nautilus, Yone, plus Sejuani, plus whatever, whether it's Ornn or Gnar, this is going to be a tanky champion as well, and you go poke. It's going to be insufferable if you go poke. You're not going to be able to kill this champion. So JackeyLove right here, I'm thinking lethal tempo, I'm thinking on hit, which means that you might lose a bunch of priority in lane because Misfortune will stat check you in the early game if you go on hit, and Top Esports have to heavily play towards the top side of the map. I feel like Kanavi has a lot of heavy lifting to do to try and get 369 and Creme ahead.
He does. On the Skarner, a lot of facilitation, something he's definitely leaned towards. This is some real comfort picks, at least for the side of Top Esports moving forward for them, and a composition that definitely feels like something they would go for, but the execution from that game number one leaves us head scratching a little bit here, and I really like the potential there is for this BLG team. You have to also remember this BLG team, they are not necessarily as dominant as they have been in the past. We talk about that rivalry between them and Top Esports, and especially the benefit to BLG's side of things in 2024, but in 2025 it's been the year of Top Esports so far, and they need to show us that here in this game number two, because game one they went out with a whimper.
But don't worry, even if you only watched game one, BLG as dominant as ever. You've not missed anything between 2024 and now. Split one was a blip, it's gone. BLG are back if you're a fan. And I feel like this draft is looking so strong. Top side of the map is going to go toe-to-toe with both of those teams.
Excited to see Knight Yone here as well. Something we saw some clips of him before, but it's going to be a hot and heavy game number two. See if Top Esports can keep their head above water this time. Kanavi got a ton of facilitation, but his connection with Creme will be so important. Game number two of our match of the week starts now. Dang, it echoed at the end. Holy, that was wild, man.
He roared. See, right here.
The level one.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God. Oh, 369. Flash, flash. Okay,
oh,
no. Had to start the slice and dice.
Yeah. That sucks for lane,
honestly,
but
take that over
don't burn your
flash.
flash. Yeah.
Great minds think alike.
Before we start this competition, I just have to say that Animo Squad Aurora, which is what Creme is playing right here, is the most busted unit in TFT right now. So he's got himself a deal. It's actually pretty strong. I want to point out that ward again on the top side of the map, which doesn't allow Renekton to sort of hide in the middle bush and gives a lot of priority over to Bin to take very favorable trades. Usually as the melee champion, you want to be hiding in this bush and coming out sort of CS or take really quick trades with your opponent if they're ranged. Right here, BLG, they grouped up as a team, they put that ward up top, and now Bin can actually get favorable trades into that Renekton due to this ward.
Gonna try to use the slice and dice early there. I love it though, because this is like a return to the original matchups between 369 and Bin, where both of them are on a little bit more carry-oriented picks instead of that tank meta that ended up coming 2022 and the likes. It's Crisp goes for the engage, can't hit onto Elk there. With the crash down. Still 2v2 in the bot lane, heavily contested. It is the Arcane Comet for JackeyLove, so did end up wanting to go for that poke version of the Varus. Knight losing a lot of his health in early trades here, but is building up to strength after he gets that level 3.
Yeah, I feel like Top Esports said, screw late game, someone's going to have to deal with the Sejuani later on. Our priority right here is to give Kanavi 3 strong lanes of prior. Obviously, top lane doesn't work very much since Gnar is pretty good early on into that Renekton. You can take some favorable trades later on to force some prior onto the lane, but early on, this is how it sort of looks like. Kanavi is going to be pathing, however, towards the top side of the map. So I am expecting to see maybe Kanavi walk through that mid lane, go towards the bot lane Scuttle Crab, because he can't really walk into this river. I feel like Wei will have way more priority through the champions around him, with Bin and Knight being able to sort of go towards the top side river quicker.
That being said, we are getting heavy trades winning out for Creme in mid lane, like we said, as is tradition. The back did come through from Elk. He will have the strut to get back out to lane a little bit quicker, so maybe a little bit of a mini cheater recall for them. Try to get that cull going so he can start getting that stacking and extra gold later on. Kanavi is looking up top side just in case, going to clear out some of this warding here. But Wei is also re-wrapped around and coming on the top side. Scuttle Crab could be this first fight, but Kanavi, he actually won't get seen.
Wei's looking mid,
Wei
Wei's looking mid.
has gone Splinter Cell style onto Creme in mid lane. Knight not going to hit the combo. Oh my god, it was so close, and Creme feeling very confident to step forward now that Knight has missed everything.
Oh, Wei did a 50-50 right there, and I'm pretty sure he's going to lose both Scuttle Crabs. Knight needs to press his B button right here and reset. Crisp and JackeyLove are already moving up.
Oh, there's no way. He gets the blast code going back, flashing over the wall, immediately followed into, and first blood for JackeyLove of Top Esports. Now On gonna have to burn his flash. We got flashes everywhere in Top Esports. This is much more them in the driver's seat in the early game.
And that was beautiful. Kanavi was pathing towards the top side map. 369 was pushed under tower, but takes a favorable trade to shove 2 waves on the top side. Therefore, both mid and top were pressuring for Top Esports. He takes the top lane Scuttle Crab, and Wei plays the 50-50. He would either have to run through mid lane to take that bot lane Scuttle Crab whilst Kanavi was busy with the top one, or try and take a flash or a kill off of Creme in the mid lane. None of the two happened, as we're watching the replay right here. And then bot lane had prior for Top Esports as well. They dip into river, they catch Wei, and they flash over to even take his life. A pretty greedy early game from Wei cost him his life, his flash, and double scuttle.
And now we have that readaptation from the bot lane of Top Esports towards top, a minute away from this grub spawn. Dragon could still be an early focus for BLG if they want to, but we also get that redeploy out towards top side by Elk and On. So they will be looking to tee up for this big grub fight. Creme going to try to get to this level 6 mark. Knight still almost a full level away from it. It might just mean Creme has the better hand in this scuffle.
Yeah, especially in the early game, you really get to punish melee champions with Aurora. You do have a lot of mobility as well for that Q3 from Yone that usually takes more of the favorable trades. However, if you look here, it's going to be who has the stronger bot side of the map, as the bot laners have transitioned over to the top side of the map. You very well said that. However, right now, Skarner has a lot of HP. We do have a couple of long swords over in the bot lane for JackeyLove as well. And as you can see, Top Esports setting down vision control for neutral objectives, baby. This is reformed Top Esports coming through for you in Split 1. From Split 1, rather, in Split 2.
And right now, it's just the battle for a bunch of belts between the two junglers.
No. He missed the cannon.
Matters, actually. It's a lot of gold.
It does.
We didn't get a zoom in from the observers, you know. That's they're letting that one slide. Wei is gonna take this dragon while those grubs got taken, so BLG's onus on being at that next grub fight definitely skyrocketing through the roof. But an early Infernal Dragon will not be too bad. So that's where I want to check in on the setups. Top Esports, we said, need to be proactive here with their composition, especially with that lethality Varus and Kanavi on this Skarner. Are we okay, if you're a BLG fan, of letting this time go on? Because third item for a night, he will be Thanos.
I mean, absolutely. You're looking to play for team fights, right? You're looking for a Yone that gets towards his blade, the Ruin King. Well, currently, he does have a few rocks in his face, which he has to flash away from. And Kanavi, props to him, a lot more active, playing through the priority that his lanes have given him. And you can see like a whole day and night within the junglers between game 1 and game 2. However, going back to your question, I feel like this Yone champion becomes invincible the second he completes Blade of the Ruin King. So usually later on when the objectives start going down, you'll put up Yone onto a side lane to try and get him as much CS as possible and as much as gold as possible to get to that Blade of the Ruin King. And then you'll just dump him on a side lane and call him in for the team fights. And this is where the wombo combo that we were talking about earlier on from BLG is going to come into fruition.
And do we feel like there's a counter character tonight on the other side of Top Esports? Like, I feel like it's a little bit more amalgamous with them. JackeyLove on the lethality build won't be as much that, like, I'm winning these team fights kind of carry, but Creme maybe has that answer. 369 maybe has that.
I'll have to wait and see. I mean, for Top Esports, it's not just a clear cut front to back, right? You've got a poke Varus with an Aurora. Skarner would like to go deep. I'm assuming that 369 is going to be trying to find those flanks to get onto Elk to break apart those wombo combos. I feel like Top Esports' best bet right here is to try and not allow BLG to clump them up. So the more chaos you cause within this team fight, the more spread apart that Top Esports is when those team fights commence, the better it will be for them to actually get away from those big Meganars that we mentioned earlier on.
Wondering now exactly how side lane pressure is also going to work out. Chris was trying to get a cheeky back off there, but Dredge line will come right for him. Glacial Prison as well at BLG. They look to strike back on a Chris. Going low. Bullet time used. Oh my god. They're dying to JackeyLove, by the way. Wei is going to get locked down by Kanavi. Kanavi doesn't have Impale. About to have it in 2 seconds. Doesn't have it in time, though, and on. Trying to lock down JackeyLove, but they realize Wei has to flash away because Kanavi's starting to get pumping. As JackeyLove waiting on the corner there did end up burning that Shades of Corruption. But the fact that Kanavi has Impale means there's still a threat for BLG.
What's the river, though? Knight has shoved in his mid lane, and he's already heading towards the top. The ult goes through.
JackeyLove caught out. Kanavi's there, but Knight finds the trigger, finds the fight, trying to kick down JackeyLove, and he does. 525 smackaroos to the mid laner of BLG. Now needing to get away from TES, and they do end up getting away. So Knight goes unpunished for that one. Top Esports still looking on the top side.
Yeah, and remember what we were saying earlier on about Knight as well. He's fantastic when he gets to shove away and play for that side lane. Now, Kanavi and Creme, they're looking for Wei, but Knight is still around. Crispy's going to join Top Esports.
He's on vision now, so they know they need to back off. Knight is a scary deal here, has the Vampiric Scepter, as well as a little bit of damage behind him, but with the combination of that permafrost there from the Sejuani, it can be very, very difficult to deal with. They are still positioning on a 3v3 in topside. Kanavi does not want to let Wei or anybody back away. Wei did end up getting his back off. Now Knight is by himself. This is scary. Knight doesn't have Sealed Fate, doesn't have anything. He's just going to have to fight his way, get the minions, and get back to the wave. On is there, and the wave clear comes through for BLG. Stress averted.
But that was so much time wasted for the side of Top Esports just to shove in that wave and go for the Void Grubs. Second spawn has just come up. And Top Esports have spent the majority of their time on the top of the map. Knight has reset, got his pickaxe coming back onto... Oh, hold on, Elk. That's not cleanse.
Elk is in a lot of trouble now. He's going to get crashed down on Shattering Strike. Going to be waited to use. Bullet time coming through, but they waited perfectly timed, and JackeyLove comes up with his second kill of the game.
Okay, I'm going to play a game with our viewers. Turn off the nameplates and tell me that this wasn't JackeyLove. All right, I'm going to hold on to that thought.
Way getting caught out by Kanavi now, but has Knight right behind him. Again, those permafrost stacks are huge. Glacial Prison combo. That was beautifully timed from Way. Double impale into the weirding, and Creme gets the kill on the Way. Knight hasn't gotten one back. There's the depth charge used. Dredge line into it. Triple combo from Knight, but he can't do much damage. Creme doesn't have any mana, and Knight, if he had items, that is the difference in that fight. Oh, Dominance gets popped by 369 on bot side. They thought they were going to go for the dive, but actually Bin got a wonderful clear onto the minions as they were going for it.
What is going on? Everyone is fighting everyone. Neutral objectives are being ignored, but not really.
Creme.
And Creme still no mana. He used it all. That's it.
He's looking to lollipop it around. He's trying to use the terrain, but he can't do it. Oh, he misses the W. On, gonna block it down. Gets the kill there for Knight. And an executed dive on top side by BLG. Oh, Knight goes back, and that doomed him. That absolutely doomed him. He's going to try to seal fate his way out. JackeyLove looking for the chains. Doesn't have him for 5 seconds. Goes for the piercing arrow to On. And every time Top Esports come into fight, they're like 3 to 5 seconds away from their pivotal ultis.
But look who's benefited from all of those skirmishes. 2-0 onto Knight. He's just about built himself a slight gold lead over in the mid lane, and oh so close to the Ruinking, which I'm pretty sure he's going to have in base, if I'm not wrong. And this is where Knight's going to be very, very scary. Tipping back onto the tower. Blade the Ruinking not quite coming through for him just yet. However, the rest of BLG are heading towards the top of the map. Elk and on their way.
Knight. They're going to try to get it. They got the Q3. Oh no, JackeyLove. Top Esports' bot lane has overextended themselves, trying to get Knight back. One more hit, but he dies, and Knight flashes away for the piercing arrow. Elk cleans up crisp, and that'll be the turret going the way of Top Esports, but the damage is done, and BLG, if you're looking at Knight having just completed his Blade of the Ruined King at this time, this is looking like BLG might just be able to take it.
Oof, absolute disaster for Top Esports. Again, overstaying their welcome over on the top side of the map. At this point, you should be able to see the numbers, their sheer numbers on the map and where they are. Bin in the bot lane, you've got someone in mid as well. Where is everyone else? Fell short on the math right there for Top Esports, and like overstaying over in the top lane. Obviously, the rotations are going to come through from BLG 3-0 and 1 right now for Knight. Blade of the Ruined King in the pocket, and Yone is one of the most difficult mid lane champions to actually dive. Dodges the chain of corruption right there, and that's a 2v1 they think. However, right here, JackeyLove miscalculates the damage. The shield comes through, and the flash to add insult to injury, I guess, on the Q.
Man, Knight is feeling himself. And I know we talked about it. I mean, this was our main matchup, the mid lane matchup between Creme and Knight, and how Creme has gotten the better in recent history of Knight. But Knight is still the legacy player for BLG and for the LPL, honestly, at this point. And to see him have a series like this, not only in that first game on the Silas, but now on this Yone, where they put so much direction, so many resources needed into this guy, and he pays dividends.
And I just want to give a reminder right here that Knight's going to be pretty tough to kill. Once that shield bow comes through, you've got Infinity Edge, you're dealing so much damage, but you're also so tanky. The life still hits pretty hard as well through the Blade of the Ruined King. And you are played into a poke virus that has to go through a Meganar, a Sejuani, and a Nautilus. It's not going to be the easiest thing for JackeyLove, and I can see why Top Esports are pushing the matter so much around this virus. They need to get that virus ahead, so it becomes really difficult for BLG to get through those choke points through that poke virus. However, by overextending and giving those leads away, allowing Yone to get to 3 kills, it's going to be pretty difficult to shut down.
I just think when I start seeing these health bars get thicker and thicker for BLG, I'm just like, man, it would be nice to have a lethal tempo Varus here in these fights. We'll see if he can make the lethality pay off, get some poke into Elk. That's his real big goal here, is to try to get Elk pressured out of a lot of these fights. He'll be able to do so with a lot of standoff damage, but it means he has to hit those skill shots. So we see Elk getting pushed off in mid, has that Bloodthirster now. We're almost on second item there for JackeyLove as well. There was the Fate Sealed coming through from Knight to get away from the engage of Kanavi, realizing he had Impale up. That'll be a lot of resources used on that top side. Kanavi still has his flash, still has Impale. and try to start up these Krugs, but Wei knows, and BLG, they're collapsing. Creme gonna try to get some damage down onto Knight before he takes the engage there. No more Fate sealed. You gotta remember the permafrost stacks are there though, and Knight gonna get double impaled. Creme, you gotta get the combo off. Knight has sustain, and Wei is left to his own devices. Might be just taken down. Dredgeline gonna miss, and the piercing arrow from JackeyLove pierces BLG's heart. Depth charge used on a Creme just to get him out of that fight. Kanavi gonna go wild and wonderful here into this Rift Herald, as they had already taken Grub again. Now they're gonna continue getting top objective dominance.
Yeah, and Kanavi, pretty much of a stinker last game. In this particular one, he's actually ahead. Pretty tanky as well. So if you do funnel into him, flash right here from Elk, way too far ahead in this lane. The TP is gonna come through, so I'm just gonna hold my thought.
Bin still has flash, is building up Meganar. Here comes Creme. He goes invisible, trying to get some damage on the Bin. Bin is going Meganar, trying to get away. Is he even going to pop it in time? Tries to go with the heal. And now he has the flash. Last second movement, maybe coming through. Flash out, but the auto was still there. Creme, quicker on the trigger. The young gunslinger for Top Esports.
And you love to see Creme so active on the map. So far, it has been the Knight show. He's on side lanes, he's TPing in, he's trying to find angles, he's trying to find flanks, he's trying to find skirmishes, and so far, Creme has been replying beautifully. The fight over on the top side together with Kanavi, straight into an instant teleport down bot lane after he based to back up 369, kill Bin, grab another kill for himself. These are the quick moves on the map that we love seeing from Top Esports. And let's watch this one more time. Right here, BLG, they know that On is on his way. Elk is walking through the ramp as well if you look on your minimap right here. But a fantastic two-man ult from Kanavi just pins down Yone and Sejuani, and Creme just clears house.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they stepped up into Kanavi there. Maybe not realizing he maybe had that impale up. And now Top Esports will put a stopper to BLG's stacking of the dragons. Is Chemtech Soul. They'll get their first Chemtech Dragon. Will also deny that Soul point take by BLG, which gives a ton of decision-making power across the map. Rift Herald didn't, in fact, get taken earlier, so it is still on the map, still available. Both teams trying to focus on these side lanes a little bit more so before that even comes to bear. And another turret will go down, at least BLG's first of the game.
And again, I feel like BLG are in a pretty great spot. They are looking to teamfight. Stacking dragons is a fantastic way to force the enemy team to teamfight you. And on the other hand, Top Esports, they did get the 6 Void Grubs, but I feel like this was more of a denial rather than, oh, they're going to use them to the absolute max, because you take them away from Yone, you take them away from the Gnar, which are two champions that use them to great extent. If you look, topside taken away from Bin onto this Gnar, and now Top Esports, they're looking to find angles around BLG.
Oh, that's the Glacial Prison used, but Chains of Corruption hits at the tip onto Wei. He is dragged back into the abyss. That is all red, and that is all Top Esports, as they're going to move straight over to the Rift Herald potentially now.
Kanavi,
nope, back's coming through.
He does take a trip over to the bank. He purchases the Thorn Mail, actually a really huge value item right here. If you look over towards BLG, everyone's an auto attacker, including Misfortune once bullet time is down. So Thorn Mail is going to get a lot of value over versus BLG. So a huge item to reset right here and purchase for Kanavi. He's going to play towards the top side of the map, clear out his jungle, establish some control towards the top side. As you see, Crisp, he's going to bundle up with his jungler right here, try to take some control over on the top side jungle and as well the river. And Top Esports right here, they do have the primary weapons that they need to actually try and take a fight towards BLG. The thing that does remain is that second item over on Creme. The second that is completed, I think they're going to have a pretty good time around those team fights. I feel like Creme on this Aurora is actually pretty strong, level 13 as well.
Yeah. And yeah, second item's coming through for Knight and Elk there, but the Rift Herald finally taken by Top Esports. And in an even state of game, I know we talked so much about that scaling, especially Knight. I mean, he's still 3-0-1, but it's no slouch for Top Esports in the scaling department, and they have a lot of damage done. I mean, the lethality Varus falls off eventually, but right now with these power spikes feels really good, and they have a lot of priority to gain on the map. They have this Rift Herald play they could make either in this mid lane or in one of these side lane turrets to give them some standing gold and try to get a little lead over BLG.
Yeah, they also have to be very careful right here from BLG because Atakan has spawned towards the top side of the map, and with the Rift Trail right here, if they do take a misadvantageous fight, it could also mean Atakan taken off the map as well. Right here, BLG, they're gonna wrap around this tower, this tier 2 tower rather.
Corruption
hitting again.
They got him locked down. Way still pretty tanky. Is gonna make it away. Now Knight looking for a re-engage. Dredge line went a bit wide. You got to expect if that went through, Fate Sealed was going to follow from Knight. He still has the ultimate available, but the main sort of engage from Wei has been taken aback. Now, in this moment, though, BLG do defend. 369 is the focus now as Top Esports crowding down towards this bot side. They realize the turret is very low. Not able to catch Bin out, but they will take the turret anyways.
Yeah, however, they have to be very careful. A lot of the big ultimates are gone, particularly Kanavi's ult right here. They're looking.
Bullet time in that does literally nothing, and On just burned his ult for nothing as well. So BLG losing a ton of their engaged tools here, and it's Top Esports that are looking for the fight. They still have dominance. They still have Between Worlds. They're about to have Chains of Corruption again. Top Esports doing a good job of keeping BLG on the back burner.
And this Thornmail has been such a genius purchase by Kanavi. You saw the damage right there. Yone was hitting him just a little bit. Elk was tickling him on the 2-item spike right here for both of those AD carries for BLG. It is so difficult to get any damage down onto Kanavi. The extra armor from the Heartstone, plus more armor that he's building right now. Cloth armor in his inventory. The Thornmail, the on-hit effects as well from BLG has been so crucial for Kanavi. Now, the most important part for Top Esports is to try and figure out a way to establish themselves some vision inside that river and behind enemy lines on the bot side to try and potentially contest for that sole point that will come up if BLG are able to secure it.
I think now when we look at the setup for BLG, we could put all the onus on Yone and Knight that we want, but I think we saw a little microcosm of what isn't working for BLG. It's the fact that Elk does literally nothing on this Misfortune right now. The bullet time not really able to do much, and you have so many ways to get locked down while you're using it that you just feel hesitant forever. But BLG, they've made a map play. I mean, Kanavi is just now coming down on this side. That is sole point going the way of BLG unless Kanavi can just get in there and steal it.
There is the possibility.
He's in there. He's in there like swimwear, baby. Wei versus Kanavi. 50-50 for the sole point, and Wei gets it. Bullet time, I just said, did nothing. Eviscerates Top Esports, and that's a massive play from BLG.
And we've gone back to game number 1. The whole wild animal situation. 0 setup, 0 members around the dragon. It's like Top Esports forgot the dragon even existed and that it was going to be sole point for BLG. We literally said it. We want to see them set up around this dragon. Try and fight. They're at their strongest point. Malignance completed for Creme. You've got 3 items on JackeyLove. Thornmill purchased for Kanavi. This is your peak to fight. And Sterax, of course, for Renekton. And then suddenly Crisp was hovering towards the top side to shadow Creme. Then Creme had to TP in. There was no vision. And let's watch this one more time. Kanavi took the 50-50. Unfortunately, you lose it if it's a 50-50. I don't think there's a jungle to blame right here. It's very difficult to get that one. Wei comes out victorious on this one. And then Top Esports really don't have any information or vision to walk up. You see JackeyLove walks up for a Q. And then he can't walk any further because it's Fog of War.
And he's lethality. So his kit, like, yes, he could do some damage, obviously, with autos, but he really just wants to get those packages going with the piercing arrows. And after he uses that, like, he didn't feel like he had any confidence to move in. And that is a problem when you're facing out against BLG, because an even game state for Top Esports is not a good game state, as they're going to try to push the tempo here. There's Atacon, Baron, both on top side. All the team is rounding out this way except for 369, who does have TP available. So Top Esports, they want to try to keep the pressure onto BLG, even if the tides seemingly are starting to shift.
Yeah, and very importantly, Knight's 3rd item is going to be a QSS, which means Kanavi will have no longer a lot of power over that Yone, especially since BLG right here are going to have to come through a choke point if they want to contest the Atakan. Atakan, I want to remind everyone, does a lot of damage. A lot of teams have thrown games through trying to contest. Top Esports have control of the Tribos. Knight is now going to spot them, and the rest of BLG are going to start coming through very slowly. I think this might just be gone.
Yeah, the Atacon just going to go down some extra roses for Top Esports as they'll leave 369 to get it. Bin will try to take down this turret in the side lane with the Oh, Chains of Corruption going to be used by JackeyLove, and Elk maybe looking for an angle with the bullet time, pushing in this outer turret here. Still going to be that Atacon secured. A lot of roses to top esports, and as well as that permanent 25% increase on any buffs they grab.
It's getting very scary for top esports, honestly. Atacon is pretty good as well. However, BLG scales so incredibly much into that late game. You also have Nar perma pushing the side lane. Bin has been stuck on the side lane for the longest time. He's already built a pretty substantial lead for himself. He's bought the Randuins, which means that right now Renekton cannot necessarily do much to this Nar. And later on, I feel like 369 on this Renekton is going to just play disturbance on BLG's backline rather than anything else, rather than being an actual threat. Top esports are running out of time and they're running out of options right here. They really need one big team fight that will transition them into potentially that Baron to then start talking about potentially closing out this series, or else BLG will take it on scaling.
It will indeed, and it's crazy to think that just with this lead that Ben has gotten, he's like 1.7 thousand gold over 369, even though if you look on paper, everything is dead even. But it just comes down to the plate pressure, to the local gold, and Ben just being the Ben that everybody knows him as every once in a while here for BLG. The dominant force and on the Gnar nonetheless. We are getting to third items for BLG as well. Third items for top esports that Lord Doms completed for Elk, who really needs to have some good ults in this one. But if I'm looking to top esports, they need to keep the pressure on, keep trying to find picks as best as possible, and maybe hovering around all this vision on topside Trouble.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, right here, it looks like it's about 1,000 gold lead for BLG, but it's about a 3,000 to 4,000 gold lead for BLG. Because 2,000 gold is on Skarner. Who cares about 2,000 gold on Skarner? You've got almost 2k gold onto the Gnar with a difference, and 1.1k onto Knight on this Yone. And these are the true, real gold leads that matter on the map. Eventually, they're not gonna care about the Skarner. They're gonna go straight through him, straight into your backline, pin down JackeyLove, pin down Creme, and kill those. Because these are champions that can actually bypass that front line, right? Yeah. The Yone and the Gnar. So these are the true, real gold leads for BLG, and that's what's getting really scary.
That's got to be third item for Knight as he goes back. He will complete that one, I'm sure, or at least getting very close to it. He's TPing into the fight now, and I love it because top esports, they haven't put the pedal off the gas here, but they might just get caught with it. Chains of Corruption in 369. He finds the backline. He's doing his job. Maybe it's going to be enough, but Knight eviscerates Crisp, and now 369 can't even kill Elk. On is almost going down, Way getting impaled by Kanavi into two-man, but Ben is starting to stack up Mega Gnar, and Giga Ben is about to be activated. He's going to be locked into the corner, going Mega Gnar, trying to get the Mega in as well, but he doesn't get it. He goes down to the shutdown to Creme, who did 5,600 damage in that fight, and that'll be second dragon secured by top esports.
And this was a much better fight for top esports because they walked into enemy jungle quadrant, they set down the vision, and they picked BLG apart. Reminder what we said earlier on. Top esports are going to have to do the darnest to split BLG apart in these fights so that their wombo combo cannot be layered. And that's exactly what they did. You had two sides of the coin right here. As this one starts off, Crisp is a little bit too far ahead, but you'll see that Kanavi is going to be paired up with Creme, and then the rest of top esports, 369 and JackeyLove, are going to be paired up on the left of your screens. So they have split up BLG onto two fronts, and they take them down like this, as On is going to walk up and be eviscerated.
Well, all right, that's two more kills to top esports. All of a sudden, BLG seemed to have lost their mind. I will just say, Elk had no spatial awareness whatsoever, literally saw 369 walking behind him, and then decided to ult, as it gets instantly stopped by 369, and now Baron started up by top esports. Ben about halfway to Mega Gnar. Can Way get the better of the smite steal again? They already went 50-50 one time, and Way got the better of it. Ben trying to get away, but immediately gets collapsed on. He went the complete wrong way too. Won't even get Mega Gnar, and BLG are falling apart.
Hold up. Maybe it's actually turn nameplates off, and then top esports has become BLG, and BLG has become top esports. Now Knight is looking for something, anything to scrap to keep Way out of the pit.
Just used ulti on a Creme. I'm so confused at this last like 5 minutes of play for BLG. And Knight's just in there trying to fight the red buff fight. BLG are moving back out of the map. Maybe top esports have overextended here, because the red buff will end up going the way of Way. No real follow through after that. On wants to get in range for a depth charge. Realizing they overplayed their hand, but TP can come right back from Creme as he's looking for a deep one potentially. There it is, right into the red buff as now the double impale, and it paled for their lives. On goes down, and immediately afterwards, it's also the pick from JackeyLove on the way. I don't know what happened in the last 6 minutes to BLG, but their hands don't work anymore.
Their hands don't work, and I feel like their vision doesn't work as well. I feel like, again, Top Esports have been doing a fantastic job at splitting BLG apart. We've not seen a single one of these huge wombo combos. Sejuani ult, Nautilus ult, Yone, and Misfortune, one layered on top of another, and Top Esports are picking them apart. Now with the Baron, the resets are coming through. Way still dead, On still dead, 2 lanes of pressure. Top Esports will at least take 2 inhibitors here.
That's massive for Top Esports, and this is the setup I expect. When you lose as a top team like this in the LPL, you know the rebuttal is coming. Top Esports, they'll look like kind of like what BLG is looking like right now in this game, in random games, and then all of a sudden they just turn it on. Even in this game, there were some moments against Knight that we were questioning what Top Esports were doing, but it seems like they've gotten the strategy succinct. They know how to push the buttons of BLG, and it's been off the back of some wondrous combos from Kanavi and Creme.
Yeah, and we were talking about a 1,000 gold lead for BLG literally, 3 minutes ago? Now it is a 6,000 gold lead for Top Esports, a 3,000 gold gap between Kanavi and Wei, and we criticized Kanavi so heavily for his previous series and his game 1 in this particular series. Oh, has he turned this one around? We said how that goal difference in the jungle is not going to matter too much. Kanavi has made it matter. He's found key targets constantly with his ultimate, and he has been primarily splitting BLG apart with his ults and his presence. So mad props to him for turning that series around, at least in game number 2.
And I love it because game 1, we got the Silas into the comfort of the Azir for Creme, where Creme lost heavily. Now we get the Yone, which was looking good for Knight, being pulled into by Creme's Aurora. And for both these guys to lose on some big comfort picks, maybe it's just a sign of the banger series we have here for our match of the week. It seems like a matter of time for Top Esports now with this lead, with this advantage. The fact that BLG are seeding so much of their base. That'll be a tier 2 tower gone on the top side, and a ton of standing goals still going and funneling into Top Esports' pockets.
Yeah, with this Baron, they've managed to take every single outer tower from BLG and that mid lane inhibitor tower. However, the most important part about taking all those towers is they can actually camp into BLG's jungle right here. As you see, BLG have bundled up as for trying to make their way into this river. Next dragon is up in 10 seconds, and this is going to be so for BLG.
It's 3 items.
Secure that.
Knight has the IE. Like, is it enough trouble? Is it gonna be nearly enough when you're getting fully surrounded? Like, they didn't even know that they were getting flanked on.
Oh, Knight!
BLG already down. They're losing Knight. They're losing Odd. Chickens with their heads cut off would be an accurate description of what BLG is doing right now, because Elk is being chased down. Wei is being chased down. And get BLG out of this map. We're going to game 3.
Yeah, complete dominance right here from Top Esports. Slapping BLG in the face with all the extra items and the gold that they have right now. Mid lane wave is gonna come through, and apparently Top Esports, it was a fluke game 1.
Apparently it was, as they go to clean out game number 2. Our match of the week, it was destined to go to 3 games. Even after that one-sided victory at game number 1, consistency hasn't been the key mark for both these teams, and Top Esports will push us to game 3.
Wow, incredible performance by Top Esports. And I feel like it's night and day, right? Kanavi was working with 3 lanes of prior right here. That level 2, the level 3, sorry, from way over in the mid lane, which worked perfectly in game number 1, ended up 180 degrees in this particular one. He greeted for that, didn't grab his scuttle grab, and Kanavi built such a humongous lead. And I feel like that thorn mail really was a big thorn on BLG due to the fact that they were all primarily auto attackers. So even if they were able to bypass that Skarner and get to this backline, the fact that Skarner could just split them apart just did not allow them to layer that wombo combo that they had as a team.
And like, I hate to be super introspective to this, but this is 2 games where it just seems like both teams lost, I guess, coordination. I don't know what it like. This is 2 games where we've literally seen flanks that shouldn't be possible with the vision that's there still happen. And I'm wondering what this game 3 is going to be. If it's just going to be a hot mess, or if it's going to be another one-sided affair, because both these games, even if we were setting up for BLG to have this massive late game, they make some huge fumbles, and Top Esports is a team that will punish you so damn hard if you make mistakes right in front of them.
I mean, to be fair, if you look at it clearly, you have a Gnar that's 1.5k up, and a Yone that's 1.5k up. And then you've got a Skarner that's 2k up. Who would you rather have in your team? Because I'd go with Gnar and Yone any time of the day, right? Especially since both of those champions can bypass the Skarner, jump the backline, and eliminate targets like JackeyLove, like Creme. But I feel like it was just the way that Top Esports used that Skarner to shut down BLG. And obviously BLG were just running in blind in a lot of these sports, like face checking brushes. Wei was dying way early on, and I feel like Wei was like the basic puzzle piece to the whole wombo combo. You catch a target and then everything layers on top, right? But it just wasn't the case. When we take Wei out of the equation, then it all breaks apart.
It does indeed. I'm just happy because, you know, I came in the day screaming 9-game day. Unfortunately, LNG decided to not make that the case, but this game, this series, I expect it to be a 3-gamer, and I'm glad that we get to go the distance with these 2 teams, because I think it's important to highlight the rivalry, the history between these 2 organizations, and that kind of difference we've seen from the 2 in their build-up into 2025. We're going to take a look at that very steep gold grab. Look at it. There's 1,000 gold in Top Esports' or BLG's favor. Instantaneously, like 7 minutes later, almost 10,000 gold in favor of Top Esports.
And I love how Top Esports sort of fumbled game 1, but then in game 2, they went into full comfort. Like, we don't necessarily see a lot of Renekton globally, but 369 is the Renekton guy. Creme would choose Aurora, even if it's blind. You know, Kanavi on his Skarner, JackeyLove on his Varus, the B1 that actually worked, getting into the game as poke Varus out of anything else, expecting that. Of course, he took priority over that misfortune. And even though the gold lead was not ginormous, I feel like Elk was always within the game. It just didn't matter at the end of the day because of how BLG were just not able to find their ways into those neutral objectives through vision.
Yeah, both teams just tussling all that early game, just fighting all over this top side consistently. And you got to see a couple moments that actually looked really good from BLG, and that's why we were talking about kind of the leads they had in the solo lanes. But Knight started like 3-0, 4-0 on his Yone, not able to pull it around. Again, not a lot of teamwork there as well, but it really was some good capitalization from Top Esports, from Creme in particular on the Aurora. But again, going back to that combination of the mid jungle, that was so damn potent for Top Esports. That has been so potent. And to look back, you know, all that time on OMG for Creme, to say that he's kind of a big crux that they are using to beat BLG and Knight, it's a cool feeling to see that growth all those years.
Absolutely, and I feel like this whole series so far, we've only had 2 games, but it has been about the mid-jungle duo. It has been about those level 3s in the mid lane and who gets ahead in the early. In game number 1, we had Wei ganking for Knight on that Sylas. Knight gets that 1 kill. They never let go. They just use that Sylas around the map to take complete control. And the same thing happened right here. But I would say it was mostly Kanavi, and then Creme followed up. But it was a great sort of development for Creme throughout this game, because you saw him, he went top lane, he took some kills, instantly TP'd bot lane, played for 369, got a kill down bot, then he instantly transitioned over to mid, pushed that wave, then they went into neutral objective. He was constantly moving around the map so fast, BLG found it really difficult to follow.
I'm just trying not to crash out of that Elk ulti. Literally sees him right behind him. It's like going into a horror movie and saying the killer's right behind you, and you're just fiddling on your phone. Like,
you know what's the worst? It's even better than this. It's when you know you're in a horror situation and you don't turn the lights on. You literally just take your lighter.
To get stabbed. I don't know.
Yeah, you just take your lighter and you just go around like this, when you could literally just flip the switch and all the lights are on.
Oh my god. What a game. What a game. This fight, I have no idea what BLG was thinking in this setup, but it was really good positioning from Top Esports to kind of close that trap on them. And this was kind of the signaling of the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like Top Esports are officially back, at least in that game number 2. Not in terms of